Welcome to the show where stories unfold.
Let's go.
People doing big things, breaking the mold. They're changing the game, making waves every day.
Big move.
Shining bright with the work that is well.
Shine on.
This is Breaking the Silence with Nikki
Nicole in the building.
Unleash your inner voice and make some
Turn up.
noise.
Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast with Arthur Nikki Nicole. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell your cousin, tell your friend, tell your neighbor to come over here and break the silence with Arthur Nikki Nicole. Welcome to another powerful episode. Sit back and relax. Enjoy the conversation.
Imagine standing in a quiet room, holding your newborn baby at 45 years old, and realizing that somehow after all these years, you're doing it again. You've already raised two children that are now adults. You've made your mistakes and learned lessons. You've lived through single motherhood, career shifts, love, loss, and growth. But here you are, back at square one, bottles, diapers, midnight feedings, and the list goes on and on. Only this time, you're not that scared teenage girl anymore. You're not the overwhelmed college mom working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, running on fumes, literally, Red Bulls every single day. You're wiser, you're softer, and you're stronger than you ever been before. Hello, everyone. I am Arthur Nikki Nicole, the host of the Breaking the Silence podcast. Today, this is the second episode of Holy Sht. I'm doing it again. I'll be talking about something very personal to me, my journey through motherhood, 3 times over. This isn't just a story about raising kids. It's a story about becoming a woman, learning through life, and rediscovering what motherhood really means in every season. I had my first child at 16. I didn't know the first thing about raising a child. I was trying to figure out who I was still, what direction I was going in. I took parenting classes. I tried to learn everything that I could. But let's be honest, no child comes with a manual. It's a day by day process. What I did have, though, was drive. I was determined to be a good mom. I was scared, but I showed up every single day. Before school started, I had to make sure that my son was fed, washed, and dressed and prepared for the day. After school, first things first, I had to do my homework, did my homework. Then I had to tend to my son. It was a repeat on repeat every single day, Monday through Friday. But it was worth it. I remember thinking, if I just work hard, everything can work out. That was my survival mindset. So I worked. I was a workaholic. I was surviving, not living. I was surviving, not thriving. Not fully understanding what it meant to nurture a child while trying to raise myself at the same time. At 20, I had my second child. By then, I was in college, working on my nursing degree, actually. I always kept a job, so I had a good job at the time. I was trying to pivot into a better life. I matured a little. I was a little more stable. I had a bigger vision, but I still had a lot to learn. I was still a single mom, still navigating how to manage everything. And while I felt more equipped, the weight of weight of doing it alone hadn't changed. Same situation 2 times in a row. But I did have my mother as my support system. She was my rock, though at times I didn't see it that way. I thought she was trying to run my life at times, telling me what to do. We bump heads like, mothers and daughters do. But now I realized she wasn't controlling me. She was covering me. She was protecting me. She was advising me. She was giving me wisdom that I never knew I needed until now. She was handing me down that wisdom that I didn't have the maturity to receive yet, if that makes sense. So let's fast forward. Fast forward to today. I'm 45 years old. Just turned 45 in February. I've been married for 10 years. And here I am again, a new mom. My wife and I had prayed for this baby, and God blessed us with Gabby right on time. This experience is, I have to admit, totally different. Totally different. It was different from my son to my daughter to now. Every child is a different experience either way. But this experience is totally different. I'm not just older, I'm wiser. I think a little bit more before I speak or before I do anything. But I've always been that way anyway. I consider her future with every decision I make. I understand now that raising a child isn't about just feeding them or dressing them. It's about shaping a soul and creating lasting moments. And this time, I'm not doing it alone. That's the best part. I have someone to partner with, co parent with, to lean on when I'm just tired. That alone makes this journey so much better. I've had people to ask me, is it easier this time? And I say, it's not easy, but it's different. I joke with my adult kids all the time, telling them not to get upset because Gabby can have whatever she wants. Because now I feel like I'm in a better position to do things that I wished I could have done for them. Now I understand that giving your child love, freedom, and presence is what really matters. Not perfection, not hustle, not guilt. Although I showed up to the basketball games, I showed up to every activity they had, probably in a work uniform every time, but I was there. I made sure I showed up for them in every way. But I do feel like there were moments where I could have been, let's see, what's the word for it? Present. Because although I had to work to provide, and I think sometimes as a single mother, the only thing that we can think about doing is making sure they're fed, making sure they have not only their needs, making sure they have their wants too. And sometimes we have to work ourselves crazy for them to have the lifestyle that we desire them to have. But at the end of the day, I'm just grateful that they love me for me and they understand that, mom had to do what she had to do at the time. She had to work, but she still showed up on every set. I'm grateful that I get an opportunity to do it again. I'm afraid at the same time too because I want to make sure that I do it well. And this time with the woman that I've become and with my wife as well. I'm just grateful that God allowed me another opportunity to be a mother. If you had told me, if you would have told me that my 16-year-old me, that one day I'd be 45, happily married, raising a daughter with patience and peace, child, I don't think I would have believed you. But here I am. Here I am doing it again, doing it with intention, doing it with all that I have in me. I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect. But the only thing that I keep trying to do is make sure that I create these memories. I create moments because, truth be told, we don't know how long we're going to be here. So every single moment of our lives, whether it's with our kids, our family, our spouse, our friends, every single moment counts for something. Every single moment. And what I want is I want Gabby to be able to look back on life and see that there was love. There was plenty of love during the early stages, all the way up. So every single day, I try to create some type of memory that she can look back on years later, even after I'm gone. The blueprint just became real, if you ask me, this time around. It was always a blueprint there, but now it's more than just a blueprint now, because I'm looking at my adult children, I'm looking at the new life that I have, and I'm looking at, like, I'm 45. How much longer do I have here? So I got to make sure that I not only leave a legacy behind for them, but I also need to make sure that they're going to be okay when I leave this world. Because this world is cruel. It's always something going on. Not only that, I've realized too in this journey that a lot has changed in these 24 years alone. A lot has changed in the 29 years from raising my son. I mean, there's so many gadgets out there you can use. It's so many different types of formulas. It's so many different types of bottles, pacifiers. It's so many things that can actually make your life as a parent easier. When back in the day, you had to go the long way. Like, for example, my mom had me to boil the water for the bottles on the stove. For yeah, boil the water on the stove for the bottles. Now you can walk in Walmart and it's already in a jug. Distilled water, it's already ready for you. Not only that, when it came down to washing the bottles and everything, before now, well, the difference in this is back then it was glass bottles. So mom would have me to boil those bottles too so they can be sterile before using them. So not only that, I had to warm the bottle up on the stove. Now they got microwaves, the bottles are going in the microwaves now. So there's so many things that I learned as a parent 24, 29 years ago that I kind of got have to unlearn for the new things that are going on now. Because let's be real, things are different. Even back to WIC, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all about this real quick. Back then it was WIC vouchers. Now it's on a card. You go and you swipe the card. The benefits is on this card. You download the app, and you can look on the app to see what you have, on that card. I'm completely honest, y'all. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I like the vouchers, honestly, because I it was a hands-on thing, and I can look at it. But the card is a convenience too to have. But that just tells you that technology has changed. A lot has changed from 24 and 29 years ago. Everything is digital. Digital. Back then, kids went outside to play. Came back in the house before the street light came on. Now kids are glued to the TV or glued to their tablets or glued to their phones. They're looking at, and I love Miss Rachel. I love Miss Rachel and all these different shows they have, but they're looking at shows like this, and some parents, the children sit in front of these shows all day long sometimes, and this is how they're learning. Back then, our parents taught us hands on. They taught us things, literally. So things are so much different. But being the fact that I have the old school way and I have the new school way, it blends very well because even in a struggle, I can always find a way to survive. But I mean, at the end of the day, motherhood all the way around is rewarding. And I am just grateful to have another opportunity to be in this position once again. But life doesn't always follow a straight path. We know that, right? And sometimes it circles back to give you a second or even a third chance to do it better, right? To do it heal, to do it whole. And that's what I meant with it. I have a third time to do it right and to do it better. And this time, I'm not going to fumble myself or my child. So y'all pray for me on this journey as I navigate 24 years later with the new gadgets and the new ways of doing things. But let me leave you with this. Who were you back then? And who are you now? And most importantly, who are you becoming? Picture this. You're sitting in this quiet room years from now. Your children are grown, and you're flipping through your old photos, late nights, baby laughs, hard lessons. In that moment, will you be proud of the version of you who showed up today? Will she, the woman you are now, have done the work to grow, to heal, to love deeper, and to lead wiser? Think about it for a second. My question to you is this. What will your future self thank you for today? Think about that and put your answer in the comments. And if this episode made you pause, maybe reflect, think about your times as a mother, and maybe you're raising another child now, and it made you think about the differences between now and then, I invite you to share it with someone else who's evolving and who needs to hear it. As always, make sure you subscribe, put a comment, leave a review, or send a message to me. I love to hear how you're breaking your silence and how you're navigating motherhood. So until next Saturday, I hope to see you here. Let's continue to grow. Let's continue to win together. Let's continue to be the better versions of ourselves every single day. Stay encouraged. Don't give up, because guess what? Your future self is waiting on you to show up for you today. Later.
Better days, slowly but surely it's a better space that'll waste my mind, so I meditate till I levitate, I elevate when I learn not to hesitate no more, keep moving forward, chase my goals and focus more towards it, hate the lows but I need those to flourish, place my goals in front, that's what's important. So I ask myself what inspires me, breaking out of my shell, feeling yo shot quiet me, and now I'm breaking the silence like I'm Nikki Nicole, let's go. Promise you gon' see better days. Gotta keep going till you see them. Promise you gon' see better days. You gotta keep going till you see them.